Welcome to the Living Artist Podcast. I'm your host, Preston M. Smith. Hey everybody, welcome to the Living Artist Podcast. I'm Preston M. Smith, at PMS Artwork everywhere on internet land and socials. I want to thank you for landing on this podcast. Whether you're a professional artist, just getting started in the art world, a collector of art, or just consider yourself a creative person, this podcast has something for you. I like to think of it as a fun way to rant and talk to other creative people about living the life of an artist, surviving and getting ahead in the art world, and enjoying your life. But most importantly, not waiting until you're dead to make it happen. All right, let's get started.
Cause I'm leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again. Well, man, I thought the Rocky Mountains would be a little bit rockier than this.
Yeah, that John Denver's full of shit, man.
Welcome back. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? I can't go any lower than that. Oh, John Denver, we love you. If anybody can name the movie that I was referencing on there, then you get a hearty thumbs up. Okay, I'll tell you, it's Dumb and Dumber. So welcome back, everybody. You might be thinking, why John Denver? Well, I don't know. It's the simplest answer. No, actually, I do know. I had my birthday this last weekend, and my wife took me away for a day and a half or 2 days to Ojai. Did a little quick escape to Ojai, and for some reason, I had that song stuck in my head, and she didn't know who John Denver was, because she's from Argentina. And I showed it to her, and she was like, I still don't know. But anyway, so that's the origin of that, the origin story of the intro. But I thought today I would talk about reflecting on life so far and art so far and things that I've learned over the years. I don't know if I should disclose my birthday number, but it was a big one. And, you know, it might be, some might say it's a midlife thing, a midlife crisis thing, but I feel pretty good about where I'm at. And, you know, when you look at the grand scheme of things for art and being an artist, you know, I'm probably maybe a third of the way through my art career, which is pretty amazing. So I'm still a baby in my art career, which is really cool. And that's something that I've always talked about with people and on the podcast. You can just keep creating art, you know, into your 90s, into the hundreds, centenarians. I don't know if that's what you say. But that's one thing that really keeps me focused and keeps me positive about life and art, is that I can just keep on going. I just keep on trucking. Okay, so what to reflect on? Well, my wife and I were out in Ojai, and it's kind of a spiritual area. Some people might call it a hippie area. Somebody I follow on podcasting, in the podcasting world, is Pete Holmes, and I know him and his wife just moved out there. So Mags and I were kind of like going around looking for them, but we never found them. But we went out there just to get away and to chill and to celebrate my birthday a little early and just, you know, get some good food, walk around. We went olive oil tasting out in the hills. We went to Krishnamurti's house where he lived, and it's been preserved like a time capsule. And we went there and got to see where he lived, and there were people still in there having discussions about life and, you know, philosophy and spirituality, and that was great. And mostly we just got a chance to kind of chill out and reflect. Pause for a garbage truck. I don't know if you can hear it. Thank you. All right, back at it. So it was mainly just a thing to, you know, have some chill time with my wife and reflect. These last 2 years have been very difficult for me. I don't talk about it in quite the detail that I probably could, but the chronic pain and some of the stuff that's come up with trauma over the last couple of years has been pretty debilitating. And I've tried to just go through it and be positive and keep on trucking. We're just going to keep trucking along with the music references. But yeah, I've just kept on trucking and keeping my head down, keep working, have tried to do everything I can to rehabilitate myself. And it just really made me think about and realize how much we take our health for granted. And I'm a healthy person. I've been vegan for 8 years. I work out every day. I meditate. I, eat well. I take all the right new age supplements. I stay positive. I have a good work-life balance, I think. And I have a good attitude, Still, I got hit with this chronic pain condition I've had for the last 2 years, and it's been really debilitating. So it was just a nice time to reflect on, being in Ojai, we were walking around and the pain kept coming up and we'd have to stop and take breaks and even go back to the room and kind of stretch and stuff. And I just started to think about how grateful I am to have the health that I have because, it can be a whole lot worse. A lot of people have it worse off than I do. And, I am positive that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, that I will get over this and get back with my life. And I'm really looking forward to that. We kind of turned my birthday into like a year of healing. And this is going to be the year that I turn the corner and heal and move forward. And I'm really looking forward to that because I'm really looking forward to tackling some of these goals that I have. And it also made me think, and it put a lot of things into perspective with people and support systems and things like that. Like I started to realize how supportive some people are in my life and how unsupportive people are in my life, and people that should be supportive that I support and don't support me back, and how much that weighs on my psyche and actually makes me feel worse and affects my pain too. And I just started to think like maybe this is a good year to filter out those people and just not let that occupy any more space in my head. And if you're doing that, and if you are finding that you have people like that who are dragging you down, it's time to clean house a little bit, because that stuff just takes up negative space in your head and in your subconscious. And it really does affect your work, and it does affect your art, and it can affect your health. So, and I've really discovered that and realized that a lot. And I've tried subtle ways to turn it around in positive ways. And some of it has worked and some of it has not worked. So it's one of those things where, it's just time to clean house a little bit. And for those people who aren't serving me, or who aren't even just reciprocating the kind of positivity that I'm giving and the time that I'm putting into them, and like supporting them and supporting their lives, their work, whatever it is, just as human beings, if that's not being reciprocated at all, and maybe even seems a little bit mean-spirited, okay, it's time just to give you a break, put you in timeout. Maybe you'll come back at some point and say, hey, I realized this or whatever, and we can move forward in a positive way. Or maybe it's just something that we're not meant to be in each other's lives, and that's great. So it just clears out the space, lets you focus in on the things that are important in life, which are your close friends and family and your art, and really your energy, like your headspace. I think that it's so important. The older I get, the more I understand how important it is to keep your energy focused, keep yourself strong, protect yo energy, like my old episode says. That's a good one to re-listen to. If you need to re-listen to it, or if you haven't listened to it yet, go back and listen to Protect Yo Energy. And there's a story behind that, of course. So that's another one that's been very important when I was reflecting on it. And my wife and I, when we got back into town, we got a chance to go back through a lot of the old neighborhoods that we lived in and that I lived in beforehand. And I realized, I've been in Los Angeles for 20 years. This is my 20th birthday in Los Angeles. And, we just went down memory lane, and we had a great day. And we went out down some of the old stomping grounds, see how much everything's changed, some of the progress, some of the places that made it, some of the places that didn't make it. And it just made me realize even more how much things change and evolve, and how, looking back on a lot of the times that I had in my life, I wouldn't trade them for the world. Even the dark times and the negative times, I look back on them, and I look back on them with such fondness. And I'm like, oh, you know what? I kind of miss that era. And, it makes me feel like, wow, if I really take stock and look at all these places, all these eras with my art and with my life, I've just really made a lot of progress. And, it's really fun to do that from time to time. So it's been nice to reflect, to have like a reflecting birthday, and to see the roots, see where you've come from and how you've evolved and how you've adapted and how you've grown as a human being and as an artist. So I would recommend that if you haven't done that. And maybe you're just starting out, that's fine. You don't need to reflect. If I've been an artist for 3 months, let me reflect on these 3 months. You don't need to do that. But if you've been doing it for a while, if you've been doing it for a decade or more, maybe even like 5 years, but a decade or more, it's fun to go back over these things, look at old lists, look at old places you lived, old studios you worked in, old works, old series of works, and just go, wow, this was a great time. And I learned so much here. And I hated this in the moment, but look what I learned from that. That's really important to go back and rediscover those and think about those and apply it to your life moving forward. And one of the things that comes with getting older and having some time and cutting your teeth, in the art world a bit, and doing a bunch of shows and interacting with a bunch of people, having a bunch of collectors and getting your work out there, is you start to realize, what your strengths are. And you start to gain confidence, in what you do. And you start to realize, what? Some of these things that would have been alluring to me in the past aren't alluring to me anymore. And I don't need that. And I'm just focusing on the things that matter. Like when I reach out to galleries at this point, which I hardly ever do, nowadays I do it with such confidence. And it's not an overbearing confidence. It's not like, look at me, I'm the shit. No, I don't do that. I just select and highlight the things that I've done with confidence and just say, look, this is where I'm at. Be great to work with you. It would be a wonderful working environment, I think, for the both of us. And then just highlight some of the things that I've done, some of the price points that I've sold at, some of the galleries I've been in, some of the collectors, a lot of that kind of stuff, and then just get out and then release it into the world or into the universe. I've done this. I've done my part. I don't really care if it connects at this point. I mean, I care, but I don't really invest too much. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not trying to control that. I just put it out there and let it go. And a lot of times I've found, just like I found when I was acting, when I really didn't care about an audition or I came in hungover or whatever, those were the ones I booked. And with this kind of confidence, when you're just confident in where you are, you don't need this, but it would be great to have. These things end up working out a lot more. There's a higher percentage of success when you have that type of confidence and when you're in that place where it's like, this would be great, but I don't need it. That's really the place where I wanted to be when I was starting out. And it's nice to kind of realize that you're in that place now. And after, 20 years of doing this, I'm just like, okay, yeah, I'm confident in what I'm doing. I'm comfortable with what I'm doing. And I'm going to push myself and put myself out there in different ways, but I'm not going to come across as being too needy. Like, oh yeah, I need this. I really think you'd like working with me. That kind of energy doesn't sell with anybody, whether that's in, personal relationships or business relationships. It does not work. So if you don't have all of that experience underneath your belt, then, maybe it's just time to learn how to get to a place of stillness where you can at least be confident and present in the moment and not come across as needy. That's what I would recommend. But it's nice to be able to reflect on that too and go, this is a great place to be in. And I think this will be a nice launching pad for the next stage of my art career. And another one to highlight is, it's kind of along the same lines of some of the things I've spoken about earlier, but being able to realize what's important and what's not important and be more selective and say no to things. Some of that has been a gift with me as far as being in pain and having the chronic pain for the last 2 years. It's really forced me, because I used to be a bit of a people pleaser where I would just go, yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And I didn't want to let anybody down, or I didn't want to look bad, or I didn't want people to not like me. But this chronic pain situation has kind of made it so I don't really have a choice sometimes. Like, if I can't do it, I can't do it. And sometimes the people pleasing still comes out and pushes through and goes, oh yeah, you still need to do this. And the times that I have done that, I've suffered. And I've really, like, even trips that I've taken and stuff, it set me back from a pain perspective and from like an anxiety and mental health perspective. So, it's really important to get to a place where you can say no and be selective with the things that you want to do and the things that are good for you and good for your life, good for your art career, and things that are not. That's been kind of a gift. So it's allowed me to understand what's important in my life, and it's allowed me to grow and learn how to set boundaries. Say yes to the things that are important, no to the things that are not important. That's that. Don't want to belabor that too much, but that's another good thing for you to think about if you're having trouble with that, or if you also struggle with people pleasing. Yeah, so really one of the major themes of this is understanding that, life, your career, the people that you know and interact with, your health, all of that is and can be cut short. It's limited. And it's beautiful in that way. I'm not saying it in a negative way, like, we're all going to die and why try? No, I mean it in the opposite sense, which is, it's beautiful. We're given this amount of time to really do and focus in on what we want to do and what we love and the people we love, and kind of work with those kind of constraints, the life constraints, if you will. It's just something that I've really been pondering since my birthday and on my birthday. It's a real mantra moving forward, is just like, am I doing this for the right reason? Is this a decision that I'm making for me? Is this a decision that I'm making for the people that I love? Or is this a decision that I'm making just because I've heard that it's a decision that I should be making? Or, it's something that people say you should do, or you feel bad because you want this person to like you. Are you doing it for those reasons, or are you doing it for reasons that are more pure and more genuine and coming from a place of integrity? I think that's the main thing for me moving forward, is I want to live a life of integrity, which is integrity with myself, integrity with my friends and family, integrity with my art and my feelings and my pain, and honoring things that have happened to me and doing the things that are right for me to heal, so that I can be the best person in my art and in my life for the people around me. And it's never too late, or it's never too early to do these things, to take stock if you can do it. It's kind of hard sometimes when you're young and you're like, I got all this time and whatever. And I still feel young. So it's not like I'm Old Man River. Old Man River, gather around, kids, and stay off my porch. But like, I do have little glimpses of that, and I know what is important to me now. And it's never too early to do that. So if you have a chance to kind of get into some stillness, or get into a place of stillness and really reflect on your life and the things that are working for you and not working for you, the earlier the better, because I think that cuts out a lot of distraction, cuts out a lot of barriers, and enables you to get from point A to point B faster, and more efficiently. And look, maybe you don't have any emotional baggage, or you don't have as much emotional baggage or hurt by getting clear with what you want in your life and with your art. So this reflection for me is just something I wanted to share with everybody, and I wanted to encourage you to do it in your own life. It doesn't matter what age you are. You could be listening to this and be 70. You could be 20. You could be 16. We all have that capacity to take stock and really reflect on the things that are working and not working for us in our life and our art. So hopefully it's been helpful for you. If you get a chance, listen to my last episode with Morgan Fox of Art and Embassies. I thought that was a great episode, and something that is available for artists to submit to. But that's it for now. Hope everybody's doing well. Be kind to each other and be kind to yourself. Reflect on your life and really just figure out what's the best way to live with integrity in your own life. And we will see you next time.
'Cause I'm leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again. I don't know the rest. I think it's gonna be a long, long time. The touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man they think I am at home. Oh, no. I'm a rocket man, burning up the fuse up here alone.
This has been the Living Artist Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. I just want you to know that I appreciate you being here, and I'm grateful to be in your ears. Your art and creative life on this planet is meaningful, so thank you for sharing it with me. If you like this podcast, whatever platform you're listening to it on, please subscribe and share it with your friends. You can also leave me a positive review to show your support. This helps me to reach more people with the algorithmic magic and keep the show going strong. If you want to see more of what I do and check out the art that I create, you can visit my website at www.pmsartwork.com or follow me on social media everywhere at PMS Artwork. That's it for now. See you back here next time.